Hello viewers, you are welcome to this channel, Geocaf channel. Alright, so Geocaf is an institution that is concerned with the responsibility of bridging the gap between the industry and the classroom. So as much as possible, we deliver training and practical sessions, insightful sessions just like this, to help students prepare for opportunities in the oil and gas industry, or even upskill industry practitioners so that they can sustain relevance in the energy industry over time. So please, if you love to join our community where you can get insightful information, trainings like this, educational guide, do well to check the description under this video and click the link that will lead you to our WhatsApp community, so you can always join and have access to every educational items that we'll be sharing. All right, so today we'll be talking about how to identify gas bearing zones within the reservoir. All right, we're using the Schlumberger Petrel software, a very important and effective, efficient software used in the oil and gas industry. All right, now on my screen is actually the user interface of the Petrel software. All right, and the well section window is actually displayed, and we already have two logs appearing on the screen. The first log is the gamma ray log, which is colored with which has gray and yellow colored areas, all right, that are indicative of shale and sand. We also have the resistivity log. Now please check the former video I made where I discussed how to analyze and interpret the gamma ray log and resistivity log. All right, so there you get a better understanding on how we arrive at this particular junction. All right, but today we'll be looking at how to identify the type of hydrocarbon present in a reservoir, because looking at this field, we are seeing a number of reservoirs, a number of sandstone bodies present within this field, and this is from the Niger Delta basin located in southern parts of Nigeria. All right, and with the sand, we are seeing that the sand has a number of hydrocarbon present. So we have hydrocarbon within this sand, and it is represented by the resistivity log showing high resistivity reading. But today we'd love to find out how we can identify the type of hydrocarbon. Is this gas or is it oil? And to do that, we'll be using two major important logs which are very important. The first is the density log, and the second is the neutron log. Now the density log is a very important log that gives us that gives us information about the nature of the formation with respect to its density. And you know, the density of a formation is actually also affected by the fluid content. So areas where we have gas will always show lower density compared to areas where you have oil or water, because gas is less dense than oil and oil is less dense than water. So the presence of fluid will always have an effect in the measurement of the bulk density, because the density log takes the reading of the bulk density, that's the density of the formation with respect to the lithology and the fluid content. So where we have gas, it will always show a low density reading. So the second log that we'll also be using is a neutron log, and this log measures the hydrogen ion concentration present across the formation at different intervals. All right, naturally your gas always show a low hydrogen ion concentration compared to your liquid, because liquid has extra hydroxyl ion, which will also increase the hydrogen ion concentration. So where we have a low hydrogen ion concentration, it will give a low neutron reading. Where we have high hydrogen ion concentration, it will give a high hydrogen reading. So with this relationship, with this understanding, we can actually differentiate areas that are liquid from areas that are gaseous in nature. All right, so now let's see how we can apply this and identify the gas bearing zone within this field. So let's come to our input page here where we have the available well logs. So under the wells folder, we have different well logs. The gamma ray log are displayed, the resistivity log are displayed. So now let's toggle on the resistivity log, represented as row B, and the neutron log, represented as NPHI. So the first is the resistivity log and the second is the neutron log. All right, so the first thing we want to do now is to condition the range of values, all right, for the resistivity and the neutron density. Because this data is acquired from a classic environment, the density should naturally go from 1.65 to 2.65 gram per cm cube, and that's the default values for interpretation, while the neutron porosity will naturally go from 0 to 0.6. So let's go to our template settings here to condition the logs to aid our interpretation. So now we see our resistivity. This top is the resistivity track, while this is the resistivity log. The first option also is the neutron track. The second option beneath it is the neutron log. So first of all, let's make a change to the neutron log. Let's set the limits to go from 0, because if you come here to the top, you can see that the value is ranging from 1.28 to about 3 to about 2.7. So we want to change that to 1.65, all right, depending on the environment or the position. For carbonaceous environments, it could be from 1.85 to 2.85. So here we'll be using 2.65 because of where the nature of the field. All right, so we want the direction to increase from the left to the right, so it should be normal. So we apply that. All right, so let's also change the color of our resistivity log so that we can see the difference. All right, so let's make the resistivity log to be colored red. So when you click on apply, you can see that the resistivity is now red colored. So secondly, now let's go to our neutron porosity. So let's define the limit. The minimum should be 0, while the maximum should be 0.6. So you should go from 0 to 0.6. You apply that, so when you come to the top, you have your neutron porosity going from 0 to 0.6. Now the next thing we want to do is that we want to integrate the two different logs into the same track. All right, because we want to actually identify what we call a balloon effect. A balloon effect is formed at a region where we have low neutron and low density. All right, so we want that effect to actually give us a clue if there is gas present or it is oil. All right, so to do that, we have to move the two logs into the same track. Now to do that, you come to your neutron porosity, you highlight your neutron porosity here, and you click on this arrow to move it to the top. The moment you click on that, you now have density / neutron porosity, meaning that they now share the same track. So when you click on apply, we now have both logs on the same track. All right, but to get the effect we are looking for, we must change the direction. The two logs must not go the same direction. While your density log is increasing towards the right, your neutron log should increase towards the left, so that where we have a low neutron and a low density, it will give us a balloon effect. So to change the direction, now let's go to our neutron. Let's go back to our limit. So instead of the direction to be normal, we are going to make the direction to be reversed. All right, meaning that you can see a change that has happened. All right, you can see a change. That is because the density is increasing from the left part of the track to the right part of the track, while the neutron is increasing from the right part of the track to the left part of the track. So there will be a bit of separation when there is low neutron and low density, as well as high neutron and high density. Now lastly, let's try to use a color pattern that will aid our interpretation. Now we want those areas where we have high density with high neutron to have a particular color pattern, the areas with low neutron and low density to have a particular color pattern. So let's go to curve filling. To do that, let's click here to add a new curve fill. All right, and want this curve fill to go from the top of the well to the bottom of the well. So now anywhere we have a curve, anywhere we have density curve by the left, then neutron curve by the right. Of course, it therefore means that we have low density reading, because density is increasing towards the right. So where we have density by the left, it means there's low density reading juxtaposed with low neutron reading. So anywhere we have this kind of combination, we want it to be colored red. When you click on apply, and you check the data, you find out that those areas colored red are areas where you have density curve coming before the neutron curve, and it only happens where that region has a low neutron as well as low density. So let's use another color pattern. Now we want to say anywhere we have the neutron log coming before the density log, meaning high neutron increase towards the left and high density, it should be colored green. So when we do that and apply, you can see that let's click on OK, some parts are colored green while some parts are colored red. Areas colored green are areas where you have neutron curve coming before density curve. Those are areas where you have high neutron should be at the left, and high density. If you look at these green colored areas, they are actually areas that are around the shaly region, because of course shale has higher density and high neutron reading. Alright, so that is why we have things like this, and the high neutron reading is because of the extra hydroxyl ion present in your shale and clay minerals. Alright, so areas colored red are areas where you have low neutron and low density, and those are the areas we are interested in to identify if it is gas or shale. So let's try to increase the vertical scale. So come here and click on this boundary between the gray colored and the white colored area. Then you move your cursor downward. So we have increased the scale. So you can see we are seeing a balloon effect here, looking like a balloon because of low density and low neutron. So for instance, here we have hydrocarbon, but there is no gas here. We only have oil present. All right. So but here we have gas because of the balloon effect that we can appreciate. So let's look at other areas. So look at this area where we are seeing a balloon effect. All right, because it is a gas bearing reservoir. All right, it's a gas bearing is a reservoir that has a gas cap. Alright, so please, if you are yet to like this video, please do well to click the like button and also to subscribe so that you can get more of these videos subsequently as soon as we post. And also probably you want to take advantage of our courses and our training that will help you prepare for opportunities in the oil and gas industry. Check the description below and click on a link that will lead you to a number of courses. You see the list of courses we have that you can take advantage of, where you will be given access to live data sets, be given access to the software, be given access to specialized trainings and video guides that will help you to complete the training and you get the certification at the end of the day. So now you've learned how to identify your gas bearing zone. All right, so looking forward to having you join the community of Geocaf. Thank you.